Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. So yesterday, I'm thinking that our church live stream got reported because somebody somehow it got shared to a steampunk page, and they were upset about it. Don't know what happened. I think there was a glitch within Facebook, but I apologize for that. Clearly, I wasn't there as I would normally be to preach the prepared lesson. I was there to share from my heart, like I do every morning. And it got shut down. So I apologize for that. I'm not sure exactly what happened or what to do about it. But the things that didn't get aired, I think are important. And so over the next week or so, I'll probably touch on some of those during this time. But this morning, to prepare ourselves for these thoughts that I want to share, I wanted to talk to you about something that I think we lose track of. All of us understand a struggle, a desire for something outside of what is right? Whether it be sexual addiction, or maybe you don't think you have a sexual addiction problem, but you are in a relationship outside of a marriage. Maybe you're a man and can't stop masturbating or looking at porn. The reality is, I'm being told by statistics that it's just as much of a problem for women today as it is for men. So I'm sorry I categorized that. It's because that's one of my primary areas of struggle. It has been for the majority of my life. And so I just categorize it that way, and I shouldn't. Maybe it's sexual addiction. Maybe and you didn't call it that, but you find that pleasure is something spectacular for you. You can't give it up, and you don't understand why God would make you. I want you to hear me. God isn't making you give it up. He's asking you to make a choice. In Proverbs chapter 10, which, by the way, should be the chapter of Proverbs you're reading today. It is the 10th day of January, and I've challenged everyone to read a chapter of Proverbs a day for the month of January, and hopefully you make it a habit of doing it every day for the rest of the year, because wisdom is good. But in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 23, it says, "As shameful conduct is pleasure for a fool, so wisdom is for a man of understanding." And the point is, when we find those shameful conducts being joyful, pleasurable, exciting, enticing, tantalizing, all of those things, whether it be drugs, whether it be sexual integrity, whether it be food, whether it be binge watching a TV show, whether it be scrolling the Facebook all day long, whatever it might be. Shameful conduct is a pleasure for a fool. If you're finding pleasure outside of God, God's calling you a fool, calling me a fool. Yes, I do it too. But Solomon reminds us of this. A man of understanding finds just as much pleasure in seeking out wisdom. The thing that changed in my life, that brought me from a place of completely, compulsively seeking my own pleasure to wanting to serve God, was a transition in what I thought was joyful, what I thought was pleasurable. I had to transition to wanting an understanding from God, wanting the wisdom from God, wanting to be connected with God. And I started spending a lot of time reading the Bible. I spent time listening to sermons. I spent more time doing that than anything else. And it started to change everything in me. Yes, I'm a pastor today. I wasn't back then. Doesn't mean God's going to call you to be a pastor if you do what I did. What it means is God is going to free you. You know, the verse just before that, it said, the Lord's blessings enriches, and God doesn't add any struggles to it. The Lord's blessings enrich, and God won't add struggles to it. If you're experiencing struggles in the midst of a blessing, it's because we've added it to it. We're finding pleasure in shameful conduct. And unfortunately, we're a fool. But we can turn that around. It doesn't happen overnight. It didn't for me. I don't expect it will for you. But what changes is where you put your focus, where you find your pleasure. And as with most things, when it comes to God, it's a decision. It's not a feeling. It's not emotional. It's not an experience. Because if you rely on that, you're going to forget. But a decision made once and then reminded of every day is something you can do. I love y'all. I truly do. I wish you a great day. God bless.